What's a sign you need to immediately go to the hospital? Losing the ability to see color in one or more eye, sign of major issue in brain. Oh phew. So many people are doing this exact thing right now. The internet is a weird and wonderful place sometimes. When you throw up and it looks like coffee grounds. What does it mean? Internal bleeding. But that's where the blood is supposed to be. I had a headache for a week and was getting confused at work. 2 brain tumors and hydrocephalus led to immediate intake. You took a new medicine and your throat is closing up. Anaphylaxis can kill you. Had the same shit happen to me last year. Had a chest infection, doctor gave me this medication. I can't think of the name of it and too lazy to go get it, but I took it how I should have. The first time, I got a really itchy body rash. After a while, it felt like I was being bitten by insects. Second time same thing, but again didn't think much of it. Third dose I'm head to toe covered in hives and I'm as red as a tomato. Next thing I know my throat starts itching and I told my mom and she called her friends at work to meet us halfway from the hospital. Only then did I draw the correlation. Actually, this can happen a lot. The body might not always have a reaction to the first dose, but react to any subsequent dosing. Mainly the body learns to have a reaction to the substance after taking it and reacts more and more, which reinforces the reaction. Please though, for your own sake, try to figure out what the medication was as. If it was used to treat a chest infection, it could have been a really common antibiotic. If you don't inform your healthcare providers like doctors, dentists or pharmacists of such a reaction to the medication, you could be given it again, which could lead to really bad health outcomes. The worst headache of your life, which came on very quickly. Also known as a thunderclap headache. Even with no other symptoms, this needs to be looked at immediately. Could be any range of things, but what they're most concerned with is a ruptured aneurysm. For about a 3-month period I randomly started getting these anytime I would orgasm. Doctors were incredibly worried it was due to a brain aneurysm putting pressure on my brain due to high blood pressure during sex. Had an MRI and am all good, still never found out what was causing it. These headaches are no joke though, can barely see, can't stand, feels like your head is being crushed in a vice, really not fun. Sudden hearing loss. The faster you get to the hospital the better the chances of reversing it, statistically. In my case I left it 2 weeks and am now living with tinnitus. Surprised I had to scroll so far to find this. Seems minor, but yeah, any extreme change in hearing warrants an emergency visit to the doctor. With sudden hearing loss there is a 72-hour window to start treatment, and leaving it often results in permanent deafness. No one takes this one seriously enough. Sorry to hear about your tinnitus, I'm in the same boat. There's nothing we can do. Here's a pamphlet on tinnitus every and ever. Me, someone who has severe health anxiety, seeing this post, I should stay far away from that reads every single comment. Edit. I really appreciate the awards, thanks. Edit 2. After reading up about this I've realized that I was misinformed about which term to use and should have said somatic symptom disorder instead. I'm a doctor, so anytime phone rings I gotta go. Sir, we've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty. I assure you a hospital visit isn't necessary. No, you've been quite persistent, so medically I must insist you come in for an exploratory dismemberment. For women on birth control, serious shortness of breath, as in a relatively healthy person being winded just walking to from car, and unexplained pain in your legs, mainly inside thighs. Blood clots embolisms. They can kill you very fast if they break loose and travel. If your shit is pitch black and grainy it means you could be digesting your own blood, and bleeding internally somewhere. Needs checked out ASAP. Gotta consult your doctor if this happens consistently. Edit. See comments below for some dietary and medicinal reasons this can happen that I wasn't aware of. In my case it was due to an ulcer in the esophagus. Unfortunately the bleeding caused digestive paralysis, so the symptom didn't show until after it was resolved. Another edit. This thread was more educational than I thought. Turns out there are tons of fun ways to safely turn your poop black, like Oreos and Guinness. Also Pepto for some people. I'm downgrading this from immediately go to the hospital to check with your doctor if this shit doesn't stop. Sorry for anyone that I unintentionally scared. That said, when it happened to me, it turned out to be quite serious. Yet another edit. Per advice in comments, if it has a terry, sticky consistency and is black, get it checked out ASAP. This is a more telltale sign of internal bleeding than the black coloration alone. Also, If it accompanied by abdominal pain, get it checked out ASAP as well. In all other cases, it may still be worth it to call your doctor, describe the symptom, and tell them what you ate or drank. I had a tooth pulled once and the blood clot didn't grow properly. I was bleeding out all day and night, swallowing my own blood in my sleep with the little sleo I did get until I called an ambulance. My shit was as you described, and I had never felt so sick in my life as well. That was not a fun time for me. It's now been about 24 hours and the foot that was purple is now sort of blackish in color. I thought that was kinda normal after a serious sprain. Purple is normal. Black can mean the tissue is dying or starting to turn septic. Happened to a buddy of mine and he almost lost his foot. Thank God he found it. Suddenly getting a massive headache and you aren't prone to them. A friend's work colleague died at work. She had a headache, took a paracetamol, then lied down in the fetal position. She started foaming from the mouth and by then it was too late. Brain aneurysm. Edit. Whoa, I never imagined such a response to this. I made this post and then went to bed and came back to almost 100 replies and PMs. Sorry for everyone's loss, looks like lots of others have been in the same boat as well. Someone in my family had an aneurysm. She was talking to her daughter and all of a sudden she dropped. She was dead before she hit the floor, and worst of all, her daughter is a registered nurse who tried everything to save her mother. Same thing happened to a friend of my mom in my parents' kitchen. Group of friends having a get-together, suddenly one just fell over mid-conversation. Another woman there was also a nurse and started CPR right away, but there was nothing to be done. Signs of stroke. Face or mouth drooping, arm weakness, speech slurred, time to call an ambulance, so think fast. The T should also be a reminder for time since onset. If you can document how long these symptoms have been present, then it can change the treatment plan significantly. Seconded. Fast F, facial droop, numbness, imbalance A, arm test. This can be either raise, or squeezing the hands S, speech. This can be slurred, mumbling, or incoherent words T, timeline. If someone woke up like that, when did they go to bed? How long has it been? When did the person start showing signs? If your pee is so dark that it looks like Guinness, go to the hospital immediately. I've had it look close to Smithwick's before, but I was really ducking dehydrated. Edit, fucking autocorrect. Normal piss should be close to Budweiser, because they are pretty much the same. The ABC of first aid is, a bone coming out of the body is a serious oopsie. 'Tis but a scratch. When that wound you got on your foot by stepping on a rusty nail smells like rot. When any part of your body smells like rot. Haven't seen this one mentioned yet. If your newborn spits up bright green, solid sign there is a major intestinal blockage, even without any other symptoms, and there is a small window to get that corrected before death. I have forgotten a lot from my stable class, but I do remember that. Is this thread making anyone else's body feel weird, or is it just me? Pain in nuts. Always get that checked out. You can lose them if you don't. Torsions are real. Edit, rip my inbox, holy shit. When my knee folded backwards was my sign. Now I'm imagining a person with a severely folded knee sitting on the ground trying to debate with themselves about if they should go to the hospital or not. You were told 48 hours ago that you had gastroenteritis, stomach flu, and you did everything the doc said, and not only don't you feel better, you feel worse. There are a lot of things it could be, but gastroenteritis is probably not it, and some of the other possibilities are potentially lethal. That happened to me. Called 111 and they sent a paramedic, was told to rest and keep hydrated. 9 hours later I was in resus with sepsis, hypotension, hypoglycemia, and my kidneys and liver shutting down. Wife had a pain in her shoulder and told me about it. Said it was uncomfortable but not a big deal. I told her to send her doctor a message. Went in for an appointment immediately. She had internal bleeding from an ectopic pregnancy and had about 12 ounces of blood floating around in her. I had that shoulder pain a few days before going into the hospital. I went in only when I was in so much pain I couldn't sit or walk anymore and started throwing up. It was internal bleeding from an ectopic pregnancy as well, and they had to do an emergency surgery. My husband had shoulder pain and 6 months later had a liver transplant. Shoulder pain is a serious indication of a variety of terrible conditions.